live.
Hello.
Hey guys.
There's no one here.
I know, but
There's
the
one
people
person.
who
it's
come back and watch
Josh.
it, we want to greet the people who are watching
Not
this
necessarily.
after.
This is in the frame, and that's in the frame, and that just really bothers me. Just a second. Don't worry, it's fine. Just like,
This is Parkview Student Ministries, everyone. This
How's
is
that?
who we
How's
are.
everyone's day going?
what's
Put it in the
up?
chat down below.
Oh, you just defeated what I just did,
I know.
Josh.
What do you want?
No.
Just
Just a little
here
bit.
we go. No, stop. Back that way.
But then it's not like center.
It doesn't matter.
Then scoot your chairs.
No, you.
I'm not afraid.
Who's here? I can't see your cursors over. 3 people.
We got 3.
Ayo.
Let us
What's
know
up?
who you are.
Yeah,
Because
put your
this
name
is
in the chat.
Sarah. And I'm Andrew. We want to know who you are.
Lauren,
Hey, Lauren.
what's up? I can see what you're typing before you put it in there. That's Josh.
Josh is our robot moderator.
If you're just now joining us, put your name in the chat so we can know who's here hanging out with us today.
Katie Babka, hello.
What's up?
I don't know why I did that, but
People haven't been doing that since like 2007.
call me old school.
Remember to hit the subscribe and like.
Ring
Ding,
that
ding,
notification
ding.
bell.
I have only heard people do that. Do Augen Out by
I can't
So
see the chat.
we're, just hanging out
what's
here.
her name?
We're glad you guys joined us.
Boom.
Yes, thank you for coming to hanging out with Sarah and Lindsay. But
Oh.
Andrew is taking over.
That is my goal, to take over everything.
The
I'm
world.
very ambitious.
Augen Out.
Watch out for me.
We'll get started here in a
Are you
couple of
hearing
minutes,
this?
just
You
waiting
can
for
see what
other
you're
people
doing.
to
Mhm.
join us.
Yeah.
No, Josh, it's really
It's
hard
okay.
to do.
Correct that one.
It's okay. We'll be fine.
5 people, what's up? Put your
Midwest
names
Coast!
in the chat.
Let's go!
That was my... I apologize for that
I make no apologies.
craziness.
So how's your guys' week been?
My week's been pretty good.
Interesting.
We had Easter. That's always a good time. I got to see my family. We sat 6 feet apart for our Easter lunch. My mom invited me to come over, and she's like, "You can't come in the house though. To come around the back, go up in the deck, sit at the table, and then we'll bring food out to you." So it was like a weird, almost restaurant experience with my family. But I had a good weekend.
Sorry, I was texting the leaders to
That's
text
okay.
the kiddos to join. What
That is a chat. I can't see what they said.
Josh really is really cramping the style here.
Joshua.
I love you guys.
I love how we kind of match.
Kinda
Yeah.
match.
A little bit.
They emailed each other
No,
earlier.
my shirt is completely different, but you can't see it. It's blue and red stripes, and his is like a rusty.
It's like a
Kobe.
maroon burgundy.
It's only Tuesday, so it's okay. I was up really late last night doing a paper about personality traits affecting weight loss. So
Ooh.
Interesting.
What personality
Sounds riveting.
traits? Lazy people get fat? Is that the problem?
type A people lose weight better.
Oh wow, that doesn't surprise me at all. Like people who work hard, they lose weight easier. Yeah, we got it, guys.
Sorta.
People who
It's a
obsess
little bit
about
more
results
scientific than
get
that,
results.
but
I like it. Yeah, drink your water.
unhealthy.
It's good.
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked.
Shots
Woo! Let's
fired.
go!
Thanks for the participation, Lynn. It's not the same without you. I
I'm
miss you.
here.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna be playing a game that hopefully will be very funny, but we need you guys to participate. So what Andrew and I are gonna do is we're gonna alternate putting headphones in, listening to music as loud as it can go, and then the other person is gonna say something kind of quiet, and then they're gonna try to read our lips.
So you might get lots of,
Might.
what?
That was right.
Do that again!
I mean,
I didn't hear you right.
Fluffy dolphin?
Yeah. So, go ahead once we get started. putting some things that you want us to say in the chat. So like something that you could say was like, if it's Andrew's got his headphones in, and then you want me to say,
Elsa's the worst Disney princess.
and then he will try to read my lips and say the thing back to me. It's gonna be hilarious and funny, and we're gonna be awful at it. So
Yep, we got some backups here just in case we don't get enough participation. But
You got to
we want you to
participate.
please participate.
It'd be more fun with you.
So I'll go first,
Okay.
and I'm gonna put my headphones in, and I'm gonna listen to the music as loud as possible. Hello, Josh.
Oh, I'm there.
Try and maybe have like shorter sentences so it's not like,
Like a couple.
the elf went on a mission and he fell off the log and then he fell into the snowbank and then he died. That's kind of hard to guess at.
You need to press restore chat.
I can't see the chat.
I can see the chat.
How am I supposed to know what they're
But then
saying?
how
I
are
can
we
go like
supposed to
this.
know? No, you just
Can
leave
you make it
there so you can
bigger?
see it. Sorry, that's very demeaning. Would you mind leaving the chat up on the screen so we could see it?
Fine.
Thank you.
We're trying. Okay.
Lindsay says she's got one. So Lindsay, you will read Lindsay's. I'm gonna
Yes.
turn so I can't see the chat. Okay.
No, we can't see the chat. You gotta mirror it.
Or you could
Technical
turn on
difficulties.
your
No, we're
YouTube
fine.
and watch
We're
yourself,
fine.
and then you got it. Okay.
We're fine.
We're just having some.
You guys
difficulties.
just have fun.
Our tech guys, man.
Don't worry about us.
Man, I wish we had Dave Let's Go as our tech guy. Dude, this wouldn't happen to Dave.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
First one.
Okay, I'm gonna turn on my music,
Okay.
and it's on, and I can't hear you.
Can you hear this?
Unicorn Princess.
That was a test.
Okay, that was a test.
Yeah. Lindsay is the favorite intern.
Lindsay is famous.
Lindsay is the favorite intern.
Lindsay is better than Andrew.
I mean,
Close.
Yes.
Lindsay is the favorite intern.
Lindsay's the favorite intern.
Yeah!
Okay.
All
I
right,
got
my
it.
turn. Put things you want me to guess.
Anybody got a suggestion? I'll wait a couple seconds.
I need music, Josh.
Give me.
Josh is
Just a
working
sec.
on it. It is playing.
You gotta.
Is this just like
No, you gotta.
outdoor
go harder.
sounds?
You gotta go harder. You gotta skip
Max.
through this.
Max volume.
Okay.
Um.
Oh, you just wanna-
Somebody put something in the chat. What do you want me to say to Andrew?
There you go. You gotta go down there.
No suggestions. I can hear it, so you
Yeah,
can't hear
go
me.
louder.
I can't hear anything you're saying.
Okay. I'm just gonna let's see. You did it Oh, okay.
All right, do it. Do it. Let's go.
It's so long.
Okay.
I'm
do
just
it.
gonna say
Nope. Do the whole
Okay,
thing.
okay.
Commit.
the Johnson part. It smells like eggs.
I got nothing from that.
Okay.
You gotta enunciate like big lip expressions.
Don't tell me what to do. The dog farted, and it smelled like eggs. The dog.
I'm not getting a single thing. It looks like blah blah blah.
All right.
The dog.
The dawn?
Yeah, dog.
Dog.
The dog.
The dog.
Farted. Farted.
Fe- the dog fell?
Close.
Farted.
The dog farted.
Yes, yes, yes.
In
And
and
it smelled.
and barked. This is awful. The dog farted and
It smelled. It smelled. It
and
smelled. Smelled.
smelled. Okay. The dog farted and smelled.
And it
Like-
smelled like eggs.
The dog
Eggs.
farted and smelled like
Eggs. Eggs.
eggs.
Oh, man.
Nice.
That was a weird sentence.
You can thank Lauren Spence for that one.
Thank you, Lauren.
Spelled like eggs. But
Whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
I need a sentence.
all right. So you've got one. Lindsay.
Katie,
you
well,
want-
my dog does this. Yes.
No.
I'm ready.
You
Okay.
need to do Lindsay's. It's right under
There, hang
Lauren
on.
Spence's.
Okay, I got one. Yep, I see it.
Wait, Andrew.
Yeah?
Maybe do that. No, we already got one. He needs to do it.
I got one from Lindsay.
Okay.
Elsa is the best Disney princess.
No idea.
I strongly
Elsa.
disagree
Angela.
with this.
Elsa.
It started.
Elsa.
Lunchtime.
Elsa.
Lu-
Elsa. Elsa.
Elsa.
Elsa
Okay.
is the best Disney princess.
Elsa's the best Disney princess.
Yes.
You did that one earlier.
I did the worst. Lindsay came up with one of.
Okay.
That was Lindsay.
I feel like cheated. That was easy.
Okay, Andrew, don't look.
Okay, I won't look.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Katie, what are you doing to me? Okay. I can do this.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it going?
Yeah. You're good. Well, are we? Do we have a song? Yes. Go.
Peter Piper.
Peter Piper.
Ate a peck of peppers.
Peter Piper picked.
Ate a peck of peppers.
Peter Piper picked a pick.
No.
No.
Peter Piper ate a peck of peppers.
I just have weird music playing in my ear. I'm sorry. Peter Piper
Ate.
and
Ate.
ate.
Uh-huh.
Peter Piper ate
A
a
peck of peppers.
pickled pepper.
Peck of peppers.
Peck of peppers.
Yes.
Peter Piper ate a peck of peppers.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. All right. There, get your in. Okay.
Once again,
So it's
I
Lauren's.
can hear you. So wait a
It's
second.
Lauren's, and it's under the Peter Piper.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't say that. Sorry, I didn't see that. But... Got it.
Laura, it's
Should be.
okay.
How's it?
Okay.
Got it.
I can't see. Oh no.
Cows.
Oh, I saw that one earlier.
Okay.
All right.
Because I was gonna pick that one for you.
Just grab
Cows
one.
are very
Or
cute.
Instead of waiting
Yep.
for them, just grab one.
Okay.
Grab one and go.
Oh no.
Should we karaoke or canoe?
Oh no.
I love it.
Should.
Jordan. Shorts. Jean shorts. Also known as shorts.
Should.
Jordan.
It's not George.
Wait, hold on. My music got calm.
Should.
Shorty.
Oh God.
It's not funny. This is serious.
Should.
Shorts.
Should.
Shorten.
We. No.
Shortage.
Should.
Short. Sharky. No.
Should.
Stop. Short.
Should.
Sherbert.
Do the whole
Should.
sentence.
Should we karaoke or canoe?
What?
That's not gonna work.
There's a couple of good ones that popped up in chat.
Okay. All right, we'll do the first, Lindsay.
We have found Sarah's kryptonite.
Hold on, I'm
That's
gonna
the
sing
only
the
thing.
song.
Okay.
She cannot do the read your lips challenge.
Hold on.
Nor can I. This was the worst choice for Sarah and I.
You guys picked it. There's a lot of good things here.
Okay. I
Oh, I
saw
can hear you. Hold on. What's a song that's very loud?
whatever I'm listening to is just this German band
I'll give
loudly.
it by oomph.
Okay. I saw a kitten eating
Fallon. No.
chicken in the kitchen.
Chicken.
Mm-mm. I saw
I saw a chicken.
a kitten.
I saw an ate the
Kitten.
chicken.
I saw a
I
kitten.
saw Keith.
Kitten.
A kitten.
Kitten.
I saw a kitten
Eating
eat a chicken. I saw
Eating
a kitten eat a
a
chicken.
chicken in
And
the kitchen.
what?
In the kitchen.
said-
I saw
What?
a kitten eat
Eating
a chicken
a chicken in the
and
kitchen.
in the kitchen. I saw a
Yes.
kitten eat Wow. I saw a kitten eat a chicken in the kitchen.
Yes.
Yay! Okay. That one was fun. Okay.
This is Andrew's gonna learn the words.
Katie, stop giving me the hardest ones. Okay, ready?
I need music first.
Okay. Mine are so long. A fluffy bunny.
Olaf?
A fluffy bunny.
Again.
A fluffy bunny. Fluffed her fluff.
This morning? What?
A.
I?
A.
No. Okay.
A.
A and
No.
A. Okay.
Fluffy.
A friend?
Fluffy.
A fluffy
Bunny.
bird?
Bunny.
Bunny.
Fluffed.
Dropped?
Fluffed. Fluffed.
A fluffy bunny.
Bunny. Fluffed.
Fluff?
Fluff.
Flump?
Fluff.
Fluff.
Fluffed. Fluffed.
A fluffy bunny.
Fluff.
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 Fluffy.
A
A fluffy bunny. Fluffy.
Close. Fluffed.
A fluffy bunny.
Fluffed.
Fluffier. Fluff.
Move to the next word.
Her fluff.
A fluffy bunny.
Fluffed.
Her fluff.
Fluffed.
Her fluff.
A fluffy bunny. Fluffed.
Her fluff.
Her
Her fluff.
fluff. A fluffy bunny fluffed her fluff
And
and
hopped.
fluffed
Hopped.
up
Hopped.
and fluffed hopped.
Hopped.
A fluffy bunny fluffed and hopped.
And her.
Fluffed her fluff and hopped.
Hop. Hop. Hop.
And hopped.
Yeah. Basically.
A fluffy bunny fluffed her fluff and hopped.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
That's
We'll do two more and then we'll move on. Probably, or we do one.
Can you hear this music Josh is playing for me?
It's out and out by. Oh.
It's very aggressive.
It is.
I have
It's
aggressive
a.
I
music.
just have
Hold on.
It's a play off the German hide and go seek. So you would do the count, and then you would say Augen auf, ich komme, which means my eyes are open and I'm coming. You better watch out.
Better Not Cry.
Nope.
Ah,
Nope.
Christmas.
I'm gonna fight you.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
loud for a reason.
Um,
Do you want us to do that one?
Josh, is that an idea you want me to do?
I mean, as opposed to something
Okay.
more random?
Post it and I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay. Fish are the best teachers, but terrible
Oh, no.
surgeons.
Start over.
Fish.
A fish.
Fish are
Fish art.
are the
Art.
best.
Art.
Fish are the best.
Fish are the best.
Teachers.
In Alaska?
Fish are the best.
Fish are the best in
Teachers.
Alaska.
Teachers.
Fish are the best
teachers.
the
T.
the arc. The
Teachers.
you can't shake your head and do it at the same time. Start over.
Fish
Fish are the best
teachers.
in Alaska.
No. No. Fish are
Fish
the
are the
best
best in the
teachers.
church.
Teachers.
Fish.
Teachers. Teachers.
That's I just spit everywhere. You can't do letters.
You did.
I know I cheated.
Fish are
Fish
the
are the
best
best in
teachers. No N.
no end.
Fish
are the best
teachers. T.
Steelers?
T. T.
You look so scary right now.
Teachers.
Steelers.
Close. No S.
No L.
No S.
No S.
Teachers.
Teachers.
Yes.
Fish are the,
The
best,
best
teachers.
teachers, but
But
terrible. Terrible.
fairy
Terrible.
mold.
Terrible.
Fairy mold.
Terrible.
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 Terrible. Fish are the best teachers, but are terrible.
Surgeons. Surgeons.
Song kids.
Surgeons.
Song kids.
Surgeons.
Fish are the best teachers, but terrible.
Surgeons.
Soldiers.
Surgeons.
Shoulders. Soldiers.
Surgeons. Surgeons. Surgeons.
Sure. What's the first letter?
Sir. S.
Sure.
S.
S. Okay. Hold on, the sign changed. Okay.
Surgeons.
Surfers.
Surgeons.
Surgeons.
Yes.
Surgeons?
Yes.
Fish are the best teachers, but terrible surgeons?
Yes.
What? Okay. And now we're done, because that was awful. It was like pulling teeth. Oh my gosh.
This is the one I had for you. Should we karaoke or canoe?
I did not get that at all. These are hard.
They are. Maybe we'll
Wow.
do this again sometime.
That was so fun. It is so fun. Like, play with your friends if you have nothing to do. It's hilarious.
It's easy to do over, internet or Zoom.
Yeah. So, yeah,
So-
you could like mute the mic. That person could mute their mic and then they could talk and you'd see their lips move and you'd try, cool.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, we're gonna go into some would you rather questions. And I will ask you first.
Okay.
I will ask you first. First question, arguably the most important question. Why is Sarah so much cooler than Andrew? And then also prettier.
I would say cool is subjective. So, depending on what you think is cool, I might be cooler. But the person who wrote this question obviously gravitates more towards Sarah's style of living, and so therefore they think she's cooler. But
No, you just keep going.
okay. As for the prettier part, I'm not really gonna talk about that because that's weird. I feel like,
You just made it weird.
yeah, welcome to my life. I
Would
make
you
everything
rather
weird.
read for the rest of your life or never read anything again? Science, books, textbooks, literally everything.
So does that mean like I can do nothing
Never
but
read
read?
ever again.
No, but like the first part, can I do nothing but read? Because if it's nothing but read, I'm gonna give up reading. Like, because I'm not just gonna stick my nose in the book for the rest of my
That's
life.
all you do. It's just like I can't talk when I'm reading.
Yeah, like
I
that sounds
can't eat.
awful.
You would die actually, because you wouldn't be able to eat. If you follow that logic.
You can eat and read at the same time. I've done
But it
it.
says never do anything but read for the rest of your life.
So if you can multitask and read, even then, like you can't really carry a conversation and read. Like I would give that up. I would give up reading probably.
I would also.
Yeah.
Okay, your turn.
Okay. Would you rather be bald or never cut your hair again for the rest of your life?
I mean, I rarely cut my hair at all, so that's easy. Never cut my hair again.
You go in full Rapunzel.
Could you imagine me bald? No one wants that. Like, I
could
get
wear
like
hats.
I get like one haircut a year, and they're like tricks. Like if you curl your hair, it gets shorter, so you could just like curl it, or
I mean, we're all kind
cut
of
your
learn.
hair.
we're
Have
all-
you seen those like flaming haircuts they do? They like light your hair on fire and cut it. That's
That looks
crazy.
terrifying to me. Of like, it looks kind of cool, but also like, how are they not getting second-degree burns
I
at
feel
the
like
same
there are
time?
like ways around that.
Probably, but we're all kind of living in that world right now of not getting our hair cut.
I asked my friend who I'm living with to cut my hair. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm not
I've
gonna
also
ask.
asked her to wax my eyebrows, but she's a little.
I'm not gonna ask my roommates to cut my hair. That would not go well.
Would
Okay,
you rather have a pet dragon or a pet unicorn? There's a clear right answer here.
pet dragon.
Yes.
Pet unicorns would be cool. Don't get me wrong, but dragons are so much better because most of them can fly, most of them can breathe fire, You know, they're bulletproof kind of,
How would you know that?
because they have
When have
large
dragon
scales.
dragon proofs. When have dragons ever been bulletproof? Harry Potter would disagree. They don't have guns in that world, so.
Yeah, so we don't have nothing to test against that. I'm just guessing that they have hard enough scales to stop swords and stuff
Mhm.
like that. That, you know, they also deflect arrows. I know it's a vastly different. Bullets and arrows
Bullets
are
are
the same thing.
completely different.
But
different
they have
force,
armor
different
already.
velocity.
They already have armor, so at
That
least
doesn't
they're
mean they're bulletproof.
more resistant to bullets. They're not gonna go as deep.
Have you thought about this? That in
Would-
depth?
would-
Welcome to my life. I think about
They're more resistant.
they take half damage from bullets.
Who are you?
Would your answer change if the unicorn was magical? The unicorn could in some way
Ooh.
use magic.
Ooh, maybe. Depends on what kind of magic and what it can like do. Like if it could teleport, yeah, unicorn, hands down.
Typically, they're associated with healing magic. I
That'd
don't
be
know, I
kinda
just
cool.
made that
No,
up.
I
like-
don't care
I just
about
made that
that.
up.
I
Don't-
can't.
I mean,
I
they
can't.
they are associated
It's
with like
too
you know
nerdy in here. We have
purity
to
and
move on.
goodness.
I
Because
feel
like
gross.
in Harry
Feel-
Potter,
feel
when
gross.
Voldemort
Get
drank
away
of the
from
blood
me.
of the unicorn.
Just kidding. I'm equally a nerd, but I just pretend like I'm not. Would you rather eat one Costco-sized strawberry or 10 strawberry-sized Costco cakes?
Costco cakes.
That's a
So I
weird
think it's
question.
Costco cake sized strawberry. So like a massive strawberry or little cakes this
I'm-
size.
This question is confusing.
Oh, that's so
Is
cute.
the strawberry the size of the entire Costco? And then if the strawberry sized Costco cakes are just strawberry size, I mean, they'd be real small.
Sure.
I think you couldn't eat one. I'm just saying.
I could not eat
No,
a
it's
strawberry
so
sized
cute.
or a
You
Costco
imagine
sized
going to
strawberry.
Costco
Like
and you're like,
that's
oh, I want
massive.
some like little cakes, and you get like a little tin with like a bunch of little cakes in them.
I would do
Oh, I want
I would do
that.
the 10 strawberry sized Costco cakes.
I would do both actually. I would totally eat.
Because that's a
strawberry.
lot of strawberry. Like if it's a Costco cake, that's a lot of strawberry
You're
still.
getting in the face.
I like to talk with my
But
hands.
you're gonna hit me in the face.
I'm sorry. Okay,
I was just saying that to make you mad.
I know. Would you rather eat your pet or never see your family again? Who wrote this?
I don't know, but they're my hero. They
Stick
are my hero.
You what? Where
Smog,
is it?
smog scale.
Would you rather eat your pet or never see your family again? There's a clear right
There's a
answer
fifth
here. No, you eat your pet.
I just want some water, so we just like stop talking about this for 2 seconds.
Now, Andrew, you don't have a pet, so what would
I've
you be
had
eating?
pets.
What would you be eating in this scenario?
In this scenario,
This is so
I wouldn't
weird.
be able to be in this scenario right now. But younger Andrew, when he had a cat, a dog, and a guinea pig,
You have to
Now,
eat
would
all
you
of
have to
them.
eat all three
Yeah.
I don't know.
in one meal?
I don't know.
That is the only right. MJ said
You're
Katie,
wrong.
you can't not see your family.
You can. That
I
is
would
the thing that
argue,
happens.
like maybe you never see your family again.
Like-
I don't know. I love my family.
I
would not
wouldn't be
wanna
able to
never
see my
them
niece
again.
and nephews
Is it
anymore.
like see
That
them
sounds
physically,
awful.
or is it like FaceTime with them?
See them. So you
Ever.
can never see them with your eyes.
You never get to ever look at them ever again.
Ever again.
Not even pictures.
Nope.
Good thing I don't have pets. So
Yeah. Good thing I don't have pets right now.
I will say that guinea pigs are considered a very normal food in South America.
yeah, I did eat a guinea pig once. So I've done it. Yeah. In Peru, they eat guinea pigs, and I tried it.
What does it taste like?
It's not comparable to anything you've eaten before, probably.
Is it like a little pig?
Yeah, do you want to see a video of it? Real
Of
quick?
you eating a guinea pig?
No, just what the guinea pig looks like.
I know what guinea pigs look like.
No,
I
but
had one.
fried.
Fried guinea pig? Ooh,
I ate that.
interesting.
You ain't what, Sarah?
Okay, so here's a. I hope he's okay with this. This is my friend. He got a guinea pig in Peru and he ate it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
It looks like fried chicken, kind of, but like
Here, let me
really
turn down the
weirdly
brightness.
misshapen.
It's like they leave the eyeball in and everything. It's so gross. Okay, start again. That is what fried guinea pig looks like. And I ate it. It was really weird. I wouldn't recommend it, but it was an experience. Roller coaster.
Okay,
Start to finish.
Would you rather climb Mount Everest or go to the bottom of the sea?
Mount Everest, the bottom of the sea is the sea is so scary. You know what
Yes.
kind of things live down there? Plus, like, assuming
Krakens.
it's possible, like,
Leviathan.
maybe. Assuming it's possible
Godzilla.
that you could make it down to the bottom of the sea, like, you would die before you even got there if you didn't have, like, the proper
I
protective
mean, it'd be like a
equipment.
submarine.
Well, we haven't even made it yet, though, because the pressure is so great that, like,
Yeah.
most things just, like
Did
basically
you know that
fail.
James Cameron, the guy who made like the Avatar movie,
I don't know who that is.
you know, like the Avatar movie, like the blue people?
That one?
Yes.
Sure.
He apparently went like as far down as you can in the ocean to get ideas for weird creatures, and he's doing that again for his next movie. So I guess Hollywood is funding the exploration of the deep blue sea.
Interesting. I don't know. It's super scary. Have you seen Finding Nemo? Like that little, like the anglerfish, where like Nemo or not Nemo, Marlin
The
and Dory,
Marlin and Dory.
and they're down there, and he's like, "Bah."
It's so pretty.
It's so scary.
I'm gonna touch it.
So I would probably go to Mount Everest.
Yeah,
Although I
same.
hate being cold, so that would probably suck. Too.
Okay. Would you rather eat 20 pea-sized hot dogs or one hot dog-sized pea?
I hate peas. Hot dogs. Peas are so gross. If you like peas, you're crazy.
Like the pea's like that big.
No, a hot dog.
Yeah. That big. It's like a softball. Bigger than a softball.
Maybe. That's so much.
But like 20 little hot dogs like that big, that's
One
nothing.
pea this size is too much.
I feel like a
Too
hot
much.
dog that size, like that's nothing. Like you gotta have more than 20.
Peas
It's gotta
are
be
so
like,
gross.
you know, at
Thank
least
you,
like
Katie.
100.
Katie agrees. Peas,
Peas are great.
disgusting.
I love peas.
That makes so much sense.
Would you rather live in the
You were asking all the questions. This is hang out with Sarah and Lindsay. You can't just come up here and
Wait,
That's
over.
not.
It's not.
There was
hang
never
out with Sarah.
advertised as hang out with Sarah and Lindsay. It's
It
always
was.
I see who you really want to hang out with.
Lindsay, I miss you. Would you rather?
It's not an incorrect statement. She did write in staff meeting, Lindsay, please come save me.
I did.
That's a real thing that happened.
These aren't really would you rather's, but okay. Describe one thing that makes you cool.
That's
Nothing.
you can't ask Anthony.
Again, being cool is subjective.
Just do it.
Okay.
What kids want. Don't do it. Don't do this. Don't do that story.
I'm not doing that story.
You have nothing. Describe one
Everything
thing.
I want to say is gonna be shot down.
Just
I
say
like
one thing that
musicals.
makes you cool. That's great. Musicals are cool.
Yeah,
Hamilton?
okay. Musicals are getting cool now, but for a while they were not thought of as cool. So
As for me, I'm funny. And very humble.
obviously,
I would also say I like something that's unique about me, I guess, and that is like unknown is I really like to cook, like a lot.
me too. Cooking's so much fun.
But I don't like baking. Baking's
What's your best dish?
Homemade chicken Alfredo. I make the sauce from scratch.
That sounds super yummy. So little like segue. In high school, I was on a cooking competition team, which is kind of nerdy, but it was really fun. And we made like an appetizer that was like super fancy, and then like an entree that was like steak and like these other things.
Yep.
So I was really proud of that. We did really well.
I also like baking. I made cookies this weekend.
What kind?
Chocolate chip.
Gross.
She doesn't like chocolate chip cookies, guys,
Mhm.
or brownies.
I will
Instantly
eat
not
brownies.
cool
I will
because of
not
that.
eat chocolate chip cookies.
Mm-mm. No.
Okay. Would you rather live in the country or the city?
Country
Why? There's nothing to do.
people. I like space. I don't like to be like stuck with people.
So then live in the country with like the same few of them to yourself.
Yeah.
then.
So like living in a small, ideally like a small town that's close to a city. So like
A suburb.
Kelowna, Riverside, like small towns like that.
Iowa
You're
City
like
is
out
not
of
a
the Iowa.
city. It's not like a Chicago.
Yeah, I would never want to live in Chicago. Sorry for people
Why?
who love Chicago, but too many people, too busy. Nah.
too good, too like big cities.
They have
There's so
really
many
good
fun things to do.
food.
You can get great food.
Yes.
Ways like so many kinds, as much as like you could probably think of. You can go to
You can
science centers. You can go to art museums.
You can do
You
all
can
of
go to
that.
sport games things.
If you live in the country, you can go
Sport
in,
game things?
sport game
Sport game
things.
things.
You can
They're-
go into
they're
the
both-
city and
But
then
you have to
leave.
drive. Oh, that's so stupid.
You can be like, I'm not going to deal with traffic and everything like that daily. If I need to go to the city for something fun, I'll do that.
so much effort.
Agree to disagree. What do you guys think? City or country living? All right.
We'll do one more, and then we'll transition. I think.
Yeah. Would you rather give up Disney or give up Marvel? I don't know if this is really a hard question.
I
for you.
really don't care.
Yeah.
Disney, I guess. No, sorry, Marvel. I would rather keep.
Trick
Disney.
question. Marvel's owned by Disney.
I didn't even know that.
I think this question is a tough one.
It's characters that are under the Disney brand,
Lindsay Hippens
not
got
under
me.
a sub brand.
Hmm.
So like Disney princesses, yes. Marvel, Star Wars, etc. No.
Okay.
DuckTales, not
That's a tough question for me. I would probably side with Marvel. Like, I like the Marvel superheroes more than I would do the Disney princesses. Because I grew up reading the comic books, and like that was something that I have fond memories of growing up with the superheroes, and so I would probably go. That's a hard one for me. I don't know. It'd be hard to give up, but
Okay.
I could.
Well, thank you for sharing. You're wrong, but that's okay. Now we're gonna talk about. I'm just kidding. You're great. We're gonna talk about our various kinds of like spiritual growth and the differences between the two. So if you guys have questions about like what life has looked like or growing spiritually, for any of us, like if it's me particular or Andrew particular or for both of us to answer, feel free to put them below in the chat. I will just go ahead and like start us off with like Andrew. Do you want to talk about like what kind of like how long you've been knowing the Lord and kind of how that started?
Yeah.
And we can go from there.
If you guys didn't get it already, Sarah and I are very different, but we also have different upbringings. My dad was trained as a pastor. He went to seminary. He actually led a church for a while. So growing up, my dad wasn't in charge of a church at the time, but he was doing lots of Bible studies. He had a ministry with the international students where he'd go lead Bible studies for them on the Iowa City campus, or the University of Iowa campus. And so like I grew up in a very Christian household. We did everything. We had Awana, we had Vacation Bible School, we had Bible studies. We'd go to church every day, or not every day, every Sunday. And I got a lot of Christian education at home. I was also homeschooled. So everything I did kind of was very Christianized. It was like ingrained in everything. There were a couple movies that like we would get as kids, and then we watched it once, and my parents were like, "Nope, you can't watch that movie again because it didn't have."
Not biblical, or like it.
Yeah, it was like
goes against.
talking about things that were not
Sure.
good for kids that age to be watching, and so just I grew up very Christianized. I knew everything. That sounds prideful. I knew a lot about the Bible growing up.
Sure. I mean, you're
and
just exposed to it, is what you're saying.
yeah, so
more.
like I knew like the stories. I could probably have I had lots of verses memorized. I can't speak, and just kind of grew up always knowing about who Jesus was, and always knowing about God, and always knowing about what happened. So I knew all the facts kind of growing up, and it didn't really become personal. Like I knew who God was, and I knew He was real, but it wasn't really in my heart for most of that time. So I would go to church and do all these things. I'd do all the right stuff. I was a good Christian kid, never swore, never, had any of the big sins in your life. And yeah, I tried to do small quotes, but um, people would say I was a goody two shoes. So I kind of grew up just knowing all the right things to do and all the ways to kind of not get caught in the smaller sins. And uh, thank you. Um, so I would say it didn't really become personal until probably about eighth grade. Um, I didn't really want anything to do with um, youth group growing up. I stopped going to Sunday school probably like around fourth grade because I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't having fun. And I just dug my heels in so much that my parents were like, we're not going to fight you on this. You can come to church with us and sit there. And so I would go to church with my parents and didn't do Sunday school. And that changed us into not wanting to go to junior high youth group because I thought I knew everything. I knew all the stories. I was like, I'm not going to learn anything new. Um, so there was a lot of pride in my life of being like, I know all the right things. I know what it is to be a Christian. I know what to do. Um, and then I went on one J Life summer retreat. My friend was like, hey, you should come to this. And it took a lot of convincing because I was like, I don't want to go spend a week with people who don't know as much as me or who I thought didn't know as much as me. Um, but God really used that retreat I went on to kind of show me that there's so much more to Christianity than what I had experienced growing up. Well, it's deeper. It's so much more um, meaningful than just knowing all the right things to say and knowing all the stories and knowing that yes, Jesus died for my sins. Yada yada yada. I'm gonna do what I want. That's kind of how I live my life. I knew all the right things to do. I'd pray before I ate. I'd read my Bible, and then I'd kind of go live my life how I wanted to, because I wasn't doing anything super wrong. I was like, I'm doing all the right things. I'm reading my Bible, going to church, and now I'm going to go, do my own thing and not worry about what God wants me to do. But this retreat that I went on kind of showed like, hey, like it's it's more than just reading your Bible and memorizing verses and going to church. Like it is a relationship between you and God. It is something that is involved in every aspect of your life. And it's not just something that you can push to Sundays and Wednesdays and when you read your Bible in the morning. Like that's not Christianity. Christianity is every single day, every hour of the day, every minute of how you live your life in a way that is glorifying to God, of saying, hey, I'm not going to live my own way of living, like, and sacrificing that of saying, I don't know what's best for me. So that was a huge thing that I learned was like, I don't know the best thing for me in my life. I'm not the smartest person. I'm not the wisest person. Really shouldn't be in charge of my life because I'm going to mess it up. Like we all do. We all mess up our own life. We can see that every day of how we treat people around us by hurting them or disobeying our parents or lying. So it became evident to me on that retreat that, hey, just because I know all the right things doesn't mean I am a Christian. Doesn't mean that I am living for Jesus. It meant that I was putting on a face. I was like masquerading as a Christian. And it really showed me like, hey, like to follow Jesus is to give up every single moment of my life and say, hey, what would God want me to do with this? How would God want me to respond to my friends when they say something mean to me? Or how would God want me to respond to my parents when they're trying to discipline me? And so it just became more personal. And that's really when I was said like, hey, this is something I'm choosing, not something that I was raised up in. It's a choice of, hey, I'm gonna live for Jesus now, rather than just being brought up in that lifestyle. So that's kind of my short story.
Sure.
That
Okay,
wasn't
cool.
very short.
No, that's okay. Thanks for sharing. I obviously had a very different experience. I probably won't go as long just so that way we can ask some other questions too. But essentially, like I uh, was not raised Christian. We didn't really go to church. I remember a couple of times when I was little, like going to church, but I didn't get raised that way. Maybe once or twice when I was like early elementary school. And then, yeah, my family moved, and my parents aren't very spiritual or like anything. Like we just, I know that we were Christian. Like they would say, like, yeah, well, I believe in God, but we didn't go to church. I had never seen a Bible like before until I started personally going to church. I had no idea like the purpose of the Bible, or literally, if you were to ask me like certain questions about like the Easter story, or like, who is Jesus, what's the whole point? Like, I would not have known any of those answers, any of them at all. I would know that there's God because my parents say, I believe in God. That's it. That's all I really had exposure to. And then, so I grew up my whole life just like kind of literally not thinking that there was really anything, that there was a God, maybe. But that like if you do more bad than good things happen to you. That sort of like karma thing. That's not really how it works. Or like if I, am a better good person than a bad person. If I'm more good than bad, then I'll probably just get into heaven because that's how that works, right? But I had no idea of any concept of like accepting Christ into your heart and like you said, living for Jesus, or like, it's not about me and what I do that saves me. It's
Yeah.
what Jesus has done for me. I had no idea of any of that. Couldn't tell you. And then in high school, I was on a soccer team, and it's about my sophomore year. So my friend, she was like, "Hey, we have youth group at my house if you want to come." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I didn't really have super great friends at the time, so I was looking for something that, like, I was looking for meaning, as most people do in their lives. And so I figured maybe my friend we would have a better relationship. I'd have new, better friends. And so I started going to her youth group, and I would hear like maybe some small messages about Jesus and about God's love, but it never stuck. It didn't take any root. I would like probably forget about it as I left the house and continue to live my life. And I continued to go to that youth group sophomore, junior, the rest of my sophomore year, my junior year, and then my senior year. And then I came to college and I was done. I didn't want to continue doing that because it was just something that I did for friends. I didn't really like, had still no concept of the gospel, no concept of the Bible. I now knew that Christianity was God plus Jesus, no idea about the Holy Spirit, none of that. And still like just so absent in Christianity as a whole, and like that it's more than just something that exists, but that it is
Yeah.
like you said, like it is living your life for Jesus. And so I came to college and I just pursued other things, hung out with other people, and then eventually I got plugged into a university campus like ministry. And that's when, after hanging out with those people again, because I just wanted friends, because I wasn't having very good friendships, after those people mirrored the gospel to me, I started to feel more valued. I started to see that these people care about me differently than anyone else ever has before because they see my gospel identity, but I still didn't quite get it. And then one day at a retreat, much like yours, I was presented the gospel for the first time, and I believed it. I started to get it. I started to understand like I could look at all of the things that had happened in my life up to that point, whether it was my doing or someone else's doing, and I just saw it as broken. And I saw the sin that I had done. I saw the sin that other people had done. And I truly believed that I was sinful. And I truly believed that other people were sinful. And that when we follow our own sin, living for ourselves, we live a broken life. And that just leads to brokenness. Um, and so then I kept reading the scripture about the gospel, and they're like, but like Jesus came and lived a perfect life and died for you so that you could be restored in relationship with him. But there's a key part there of like living in a relationship with him,
Yeah.
following him, believing in God, and living your life, like you said, for Jesus, or your life for God. And that was just something that I had never understood before until that moment of like, it's more than just checking a box and saying, I believe in that because my parents believe in that, or because that's the culture of, this person that is in my family believes in that. It's like, no, I myself, regardless of what anyone else in my family or any of my friends believe, or how whatever their influence is, I believe in that.
Yeah.
So that's like my, evidence of spiritual growth, a little bit of like my life versus your life. And obviously you got started in that a long time before I did, because that was just for me just a year ago in December. And so now I've been living for Jesus in the past year and a half, which is crazy because it feels like a lifetime, but it also sometimes feels like no time at all. So let's talk about what spiritual growth has looked like for you. First of all, spiritual growth, like let's like talk about what we think that is, and then like what it's looked like for you. We only have about like 15 minutes left or so lately, and then I'll do the same. And then if you guys have any questions about like what is God teaching us, or whatever other things you want to know about how we've grown in the past let's say year. Let's put a year on it because that's my timeline.
Okay.
You go ahead.
So just to define like spiritual growth, so I would say that's like just growing in your understanding and your knowledge of what and who God is and how He has designed us and how He wants us to live a life that glorifies Him.
In the application of
And
it.
yeah,
Yeah, I would agree. So it's growing in what God is teaching you and applying the things that you've learned from that new like lesson from the Lord into your life. That is the growth of like someone told me growth looks like grace plus truth over time. So you learn the truth of God. You get grace because you understand that God has forgiven your sins and you try to apply it, but you won't be perfect. And then you give yourself time. And when you do those things, when you learn, but you fall short sometimes, but you get back up and you keep following the Lord over time, you will look vastly different than when you started.
yeah. So I think for me, like how my spiritual growth has changed from like being a kid to now has been like just understanding there's so much more to each story in the Bible than what you get through the first time reading it. Because growing up, I was like, I know the story of David, I know these stories, and I was like, there's nothing more I'm going to get from reading them. But like just growing up and having that personal relationship with Jesus, of being like, this is God's word written for me, to me, to hear His word, to understand who He is more and more. Like that just increased my love for it and deepened every story of like being able to go back through the stories that I knew by heart and being able to like get deeper and saying like, no, this is something that is pointing to Jesus, or this is something that connects over here in this other part of the Bible, and that creates a deeper understanding of the story of the Bible and who God is. So I think just taking those habits that I already had kind of made as a kid of like, okay, getting up in the morning, reading my Bible, praying before dinner, like took all those things that I was already doing and just deepened them and made them more personal and more
less
like
of a routine.
yeah, less of a routine and more of being like, hey, this is something that matters, not just like a check in the box. And I think that is something cool that I noticed from hearing both of our stories of like there were both moments in our life when we realized, hey, I'm kind of just going through motions, I'm kind of just living my life how I want to, and then realizing that like we're all broken. And it like I realized how broken I was, and Sarah realized how broken she was, and both of that drove us to Jesus. Even though we have different stories,
Yeah.
it's realizing your brokenness.
Interesting.
Just yeah, my spiritual growth has just taken the things that I was already doing and deepened them of spending more time with God, of praying more, and viewing more things as worship than just singing songs and prayer, of being like, I can worship God through doing the dishes for my roommates, or I can worship God
serving
through
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just taken everything that I've known and kind of deepened it through my own studies or through doing Bible studies with friends, or talking with the leaders here, just making my spiritual growth a part of everything I do in my life.
Cool. Yes. So obviously I have similar things. But I think for me, my spiritual growth that is like I've seen in my life in the last year has stemmed from, like you said, making things less of a routine and something that I want to do more. Not a list of things to do, but things that are like my passions. Making my habits passions, I think, is obviously what you just said. That's definitely been evident in my life as well. But also for me, it's looked like making my community around me kind of pointing me in that direction.
Yeah.
So something that I heard, I will never forget. It was at a sermon this last fall from Wade at 24/7, and he said, "The friends that you will make in your life will either point you to the cross or away from it."
Yeah.
And it's been really like I don't know, just kind of eye opening. At the other points of my life before this year of learning and like living for Jesus, I really didn't have any friends who pointed me to the cross. And so now I look at my life and the people that influence me, like it's kind of like what you are a product of that environment, and if you aren't surrounding yourself with people who are going to tell you the truth,
Mhm.
the biblical truth about who you are, who God sees you as, the things that are going to satisfy you, which is not of this world but of Him, then those things are going to spur you on for growth. And
Yeah.
if you don't have those things, then they're going to, turn you away and go in the opposite direction. And also something that I've noticed is like I just have this like hunger for more. Like I cannot get enough of it. It's like I have to know more about what that scripture means, or like I have to know more about like what that word means in the Bible that's like I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Or like it's so new. It's like it's like a new thing every time I open the Bible. If I go to a new place, like there's almost 100% chance that I'm gonna find something I hadn't heard before, or that is like still fresh for me. And so I just get so excited, and I think that like this is even to say like certain points in my walk with the Lord in last year I've been less excited, and that it ebbs and flows.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think the more you can like look at the Bible as like God has something there for you to experience and encounter that is exciting, wonderful, and loving, then that just becomes so awesome. And so then I'm like, man, like, what about this? Or like, what about this question that's theological? Or like, what about this book that I haven't even read yet? Maybe I should read it. There's something there, and then I learn something new. Or like, it's just there's so much there, and I love learning. I'm a nerd, closet nerd, secret. I don't like to talk about it, but I do love learning, and so the general hunger for more has been just so awesome. And it's not like 100% on all the time. Sometimes it's not there, and in those moments is like where the prayer comes in of like, God, I'm not really feeling it, but I
Yeah.
know that like you are still good. Could you show me something? And then when he does,
Mhm.
always, because he's so good, then I'm like, oh my gosh, God is so awesome. And then I'm excited again, and it just
Yeah.
goes. So, um, let's say, like in the last like quarantine time, what is one thing that God is teaching you?
Last
Like
quarantine
this,
time.
since quarantine has started, what is something that God is teaching you? And we'll end on this, and then we'll, kind of go from there.
Definitely, just being more at peace,
Hmm.
of being okay with my plans being um, disrupted and broken,
Mhm.
of being like I'm losing control of some areas of my life, and God is just continuing to work on my heart, through what I'm reading and through what people are talking to me about, and the songs I'm listening to. Just He's continuing to help me be okay with letting go, which is a problem I have, of letting go of control of my life.
Me too.
And this quarantine is really just helping, like, okay, I'm losing control of some of the things I used to have control of. Like I can't go out and hang out with my friends, or I'm working less, and all these other things that like it's just reducing my control over my life. And God has been like, it's okay because I'm in control. Like God is just continuing to tell me like it is okay. You don't have to be in control because He is in control. So that's one of the big things that God's really is just like showing me and teaching me through this quarantine time.
Yeah, I feel like it's so much. It always is so much with me. Like it's not just like one thing. It's like, and then this is different, and this is different, and this is different. Like I truly like when I first became a Christian, I described it to my friend as like my entire life rule book just got thrown out the window, and everything is new. And so when I learn everything new, it's like that's not how I lived my whole life, and so now I have to like uproot that habit or that thing, or well like my parents raised me this way. Well, that sucks because that's not biblical. So let's talk about it. And
Yeah.
so for me lately, I've been the Lord also. If we were thinking about like we're all sheep, right? What kind of sheep are we? Well, Sarah is a sheep that has to learn the hard way. Sarah is the sheep that will probably walk off the cliff. God will save her, put her back up, and be like, "Don't do it," and then she'll just go again. And it's just like this process of learning the hard way. And the Lord is like, I love her so much, but why is she just so difficult? Probably. And so like for me, like I had to learn similar things, but over and over and over again. And we're all that way with different things, but for me, it's like so much. So I feel like for me, I've been learning, which you'd think it would be easy to know right away when you become a Christian, but it's not. It's like my life is not my own. So
Yeah.
the things that I want in my life, or the things that I think I deserve or I should have or whatever, um, sorry, but it's not always that way. It's okay to have those things, and like I do believe that God gives us our desires that align with Him the longer we follow Him.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
that doesn't mean that there are things where we think that we should get things that we don't end up getting, and then they're like, what the heck, you know? And so I'm learning like, who's to say that what God has planned for me isn't better than what I had already envisioned? And so then like accepting my life isn't my own. God is so good. He's got something
Yeah.
later down the line that's better than what I could even understand. And like you said, letting go of that control and letting go of the things that I think I should have or the things that I want and being like, God, not my will but yours, because you've proven to be perfect and amazing and good. And Sarah has proven to be none of those things, unless he is showing up, you know, moving in and through me. And so that's one thing. And another thing is that if I am not living a spiritually dependent, prayerful life, I'm not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
And so if I'm not like solely looking to the Lord for my satisfaction, then I'm looking in the wrong places. And so it's like kind of like you got to be like chips all in for Jesus, like all in, like nothing. Like he says in Matthew, I don't remember the
Luke 1.
chapter, where he's like, you can't serve two masters. Like it's money or it's me. What is it gonna be? You can't like, you know, kind of be over here, but also like over there. And so like God has been like, Sarah, where are you going? Are you really all in for me? Because if you're really all in for me, then you're not gonna worry about this because I figure out what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're not gonna worry about if I'm gonna provide for you because you know I will because I have here. You're not gonna worry about all these other things. And like if you do worry, then you're gonna pray to me about it and you're gonna talk to me because I
Yeah.
love you and I want you. And so it's like just been so good to grow in those particular ways. And of course, there are so many more. Um, Another one is that I need to learn to follow better. Um, this is probably what we wrap up with. But I have been learning that if I'm going to be a leader and if I'm going to do certain things, then I need to learn to follow well. So I need to learn how to let other people step in and make decisions and make choices and voice their opinion and take the back seat. Because when I let Jesus, you know, kind of drive the car of my life, that was hard enough. But now I'm not letting other people contribute and I'm not serving them well by, you know, being like, well, I think this is the best choice.
Yeah.
Even if it is more logical and more efficient, that doesn't mean that it is kind. And so you have to maneuver that. And I think that is like something that God has been like, just chill out and follow other people. So yeah, last, like we see in the chat, do you guys have any questions about what you want to hear us talk about?
Because Sarah and I could talk a lot about our relationship with God and how we've grown up and how it's shaped us. But we don't know if that's what you want to hear.
I
So
could
like
talk about
ask us
this for
questions
hours,
if you got anything.
easily.
Anything's on the table except for you know, who you want to kill, random stuff like that. If you've ever played Hot Seat with J-Life, you know what I'm talking about.
Do they really ask those questions?
Oh yeah. There's been like, hey, like, who do you like? Like, what's your relationship status like? And like, if you could kill these people, who would you like to kill? And then it's like,
you're like, no one. Murder is
what's your political affiliation? And it's like, we're gonna take all of these things off the table. So
right.
Solid.
Yeah.
No one.
So if you have questions,
don't want to know anything at all. My favorite color is green.
We're open books. Same.
Okay, I have to find a new favorite color.
Ooh.
No, actually, you
Bright
do.
yellow, so yellow that it hurts your eyes.
I'm not moving. Lindsay.
Do either
Why
of
did
you
you
have?
get so
Hey! Do either of you have a life verse, or what is the first verse you memorized?
I don't even need to look it up, but I'm going to because different versions say it differently.
Joshua 1:9 for me has always been the verse.
That's a good one.
That was one of the ones I memorized very early on and just kind of always stuck with me. And it's have I not told you, be strong and courageous, do not be terrified, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. So that verse has always taught me, like, I don't have to worry or be afraid of what's going on in my life, because I am never alone. And that's one of my biggest fears, of being like rejected by people, being ostracized and like pushed off and being alone.
Sure.
But I know God is never going to do that. He's going to be with me through thick and thin, and he's going to be there for me when I'm not there for him. So like, he's just like always there. He's going to be with me. I can be strong and courageous because of God.
So the first verse I ever memorized is Psalm 31:7, And I pulled up the whole psalm though because I think it's like good to just talk
Psalms are
about.
great.
Psalms are really good. I actually learned it on my way to Peru, and I was going through a really rough time at the time with like relationships in my family and certain things. And so I remember flying to where my whole team was meeting up and just crying because I was just like, man, I don't know what to do. I just really don't. And so I just gotten my first Bible, which is my Bible that I have now, and it's starting to fall apart, but that's okay. And I flipped to the Psalms, and I was like, well, if there's probably a place to start, it's there. I was like just fresh, new believer, didn't really know where to start. So I started the Psalms, got to Psalm 31:7, and it says, I will trust in your unfailing Lord, God, because you see the troubles and the anguishes of my heart. And you like know my soul. And so it was just saying like, man, that is so amazing that God knows the condition of your soul,
Yeah.
even when it's in anguish. So He's not looking away from you when you are in those moments. And so if you find yourself in a moment of pure anguish, you can trust that God is there and He is with you. He sees your struggles and your troubles, and His love is unfailing. And so I never forget that. That's where I always go first. But the rest of the psalm is so good too because it talks about something that I struggle with a lot is like I'm hyper aware of my sin. So some people are like, oh, I'm not sinful, I'm not that bad, it could be worse. For me, it's like I am the worst. And I sit in that. And I sit and I think about how awful I am and how broken my sins are, and I don't connect all the way to the gospel sometimes. And even that place is also sinful to
Yeah.
me too.
Yep.
And so I'm trying to learn about getting out of that pity party that I sometimes throw and being like, but God is so good. God is so good that He forgave me and that He, like has done everything to sanctify me and it's not of me. And so I'm learning and have learned and am still probably going to forever learn to not sit in my own struggle and sit there and be upset. But something that I love about the Psalms is it just expresses what I feel. And so I feel like I'm not alone in that.
Yeah.
And that how beautiful is it that thousands of years ago, people were feeling the same things that I struggle with today. So this is so relevant and it will forever be relevant because people will always be struggling with sin,
Yeah.
but God will always be unfailing. So that is probably what?
Well, we got one more question, so
Well, this
we'll
is the last
answer.
one.
So, if someone has not read the Bible or hasn't read it very much, what would be your recommendation? Where should they start? What would be a good book of the Bible to start to read?
One of the Gospels.
Yeah. So like if they're like a unbeliever or someone who hasn't like accepted Jesus, I would say the Gospels is a good place. Like the Book of John is a great easy gospel,
Or Luke.
or Luke to start with.
The first book I ever read though was Philippians, all the way through.
Yeah, Philippians is good.
Any day from
Or Romans.
What's an epistle?
An epistle is a letter to people from an apostle or a person. It depends. Biblical definition or like definition of like non-secular. That's the word. Secular
Yes.
definition.
A letter, either way.
It is a letter either way, but technically they're different, like a little bit. That's what I would say.
If you're looking for
I would say start with Gospels because then they get
the story of Jesus,
the purpose, right? Because all of the Bible's leading to God's plan being executed
in
through
the Gospels.
Jesus's life, birth, life, death, and resurrection. And then I think that is so great and amazing. And they will be talking about the resurrection this Thursday, so you should tune in.
Yeah.
And
But the epistles also go into detail because, fun fact,
It's like
if you
the
didn't know,
application.
they were written before the Gospels. So a lot of them have the story of the Gospel or have things that talk about what Jesus did. So if you read the epistles, you'll still get understanding of what Jesus did for people. And
I didn't know that.
yeah, so they were written before the Gospels.
Probably not all of them.
Yeah. And they were written to continue and teach people about Jesus. So the epistles are great. If
Yeah.
you're like a
They also what's great about the epistles is they address certain things that believers fall into, like new believers, like Galatians, is what I'm reading in a personal Bible study that I'm in right now, and it's like, don't do this. You're gonna be tempted. People are gonna tell you things that aren't true, or you're gonna like, don't lose sight of the gospel. You learn the gospel, and then you're kind of going to the wayside. No, go back to what you know is true. So like, I think starting with the gospels and then going to an epistle is like really key because then they kind of like show you some possible pitfalls that you might have fallen into or you might fall into and how to stay away from them.
And if you are someone who has read the Bible and you are just looking for a good book to read, Sarah already talked about this. The Psalms are great. Um,
Mm.
they have beautiful phrases in them. They just paint good pictures
Mhm.
about people's emotions and God's goodness and His love. So Psalms is one of my favorite books of just going to see the beauty of people pouring out their heart, their emotions to God,
Mhm.
and it is
And they're
so
not just
descriptive.
sad, they're like happy,
Yeah, there
they
are ones
sing
that talk about
praise.
praises, ones that talk about their sorrow. There's ones that talk about them feeling alone and like God isn't with them, and that's something we've all struggled
Mhm.
with. So if you're looking for something to kind of connect with, the Psalms have great ones that you can kind of connect with people.
Mhm. So thank you guys so much for joining us and hanging out with us. We're going to end the stream soon, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us through social media or check in Thursday. This Thursday, there's a deep dive about the resurrection. It's going to be super cool.
Don't miss it.
Theological questions and all those things. So please tune in Thursday, and then this Sunday,
3:30.
3:30. Thank you. And then this Sunday, we'll be going through some new things with the new study as well. So I hope to see you guys soon online or through social media outlets. So thanks for joining us and have a really
Peace
great
out.
day.